Illusion. The word best describes idea of life. Rather, my life. It's early morning hour in Delhi. The world has still not woken up in maddening rush. Last night I made peace with my memories. I visited people, places and incidents. Somewhere it was an open scar. Something was of balming touch. Memories are elusive. You look upon it and it takes a different shade. I straightened up the wrinkled layers and formed a story. Images so personal become so distant. You accept the thing as it is. You revisit those images, memories again and again. You love, you lose, and images still haunt. You rearrange, recreate, and start dreaming life again. Narrative arc moves on. How to make sense out of illusion? Images move. Life journey meanders through hope and dreariness. On a daily basis, multitude of faces crisscross the path, and hardly anyone touches your heart. And suddenly, I woke up to the lonely existence. The next moment added sadness to loneliness. There was an old magazine lying on the floor. Its fluttering page was announcing a tragic news. Death of an artist. Ingmar Bergman. First time became aware that the artist who raised existential questions about life and its meaning is no more. Last night, I made love. In the morning, she moved away from me, leaving behind a crumpled bedsheet and wrinkled memories. I still remember the time when my days started with door-to-door delivery of newspapers. When any horrific incident shook up the world, my newspaper sales used to go up. And the tragedy for many was happiness for one. Nay, two. I was in love. Extra money earned on selling the tragic news brought a broadened smile on our love-lorn faces. You can say I was lucky in love and life. When life hinted towards opportunity, I made it a possibility. I tried my luck in professional acting.
देश कौन है देश?
Small roles with big dreams and empty pocket. Such was the life. Stage fascinated me and money attracted me. From backstage odd jobs, I graduated to small roles. But my ambition grew up in far larger proportions. After all, love was defining and dictating life. If an extra penny spent on popcorn or chocolate could bring such a broadened smile on my beloved's face, what about a nice dinner in a fancy restaurant? If commuting in a crowded bus could bring such a reassuring intimacy, what if I could afford my own car? I didn't understand that smile could not get bigger. It could only become more genuine. Intimacy could not get more reassuring. It could only get warmer. I apprenticed as a video editor for 2 years. I was getting just small pocket money, but I could sense big bucks in the days to come. Soon, I got a promo editor's job in a big media house. I still work there, making visuals of all kinds. In the editing suite, images of storytellers were always lurking in somewhat godly gaze. And what was I doing? From lingerie to lehenga, phones to kitchen utensils, rosary beads to promotional videos, I was playing with all kinds of images to earn my bread and butter, thinking that one day I would also make a film that would not only reflect life as it is, but also what it should be. Such was the gap between dream and daily existence. Life was worth discussing only with the dusk approaching. Booze overflowed. Smoke ring created a hazy pattern. Sentiments ran amok, and we friends discussed stories that would one day catapult us as storytellers. November 15th. In that night of intoxication, we decided to head to Goa for IFFI 2012. I could see life divided in exact polarities of love and strife. We wanted to meet those storytellers. And to tell you the truth, I wanted to see how a place looks like, with or without that special someone.
Welcome to Dublin Airport, Goa. The outside temperature is 31 degrees Celsius. We wish you a very pleasant evening and thank you for choosing to fly with us.
And I was in Goa to meet the master storytellers. I'm coming here after 8 years. So many things have changed. So much remains the same. Ancient churches and monuments, roads and landmarks bear the name rooted in its Portuguese heritage. Last time I came here with her to attend the 35th edition of IFFI 2004. We watched films, and in the journey way back to the hotel, we discussed films, savored local drinks, and made love. In church, we prayed together. On sun-kissed beaches, waves came crashing to us while we lay in each other's arms. Waves come with the same regularity even today. But now, its swells crash only against memory. Reminiscence has spread its canvas far and wide. Cycle repeats, and I am here again to attend IFFI 2012. Mayuri, I am here without you. This year, the film festival is celebrating 100 years of Indian cinema. I savor films. Think about the masters who created such masterpieces. And in bits and pieces, I also see the reflection of my life. In a way, this is a convenient device to relive my life without you. I find myself at a point where one story moves forward to capture life, while the other one goes down memory lane, capturing my own personal story. Life as a fatal sexually transmitted disease. How apt is the title of a film by Polish master Zanussi. When I think about life, or rather my life, I remember about his films. And here I am, listening to him in person.
Sometimes it sounds sad because when you have lifetime achievement, it is time to die. And very polite people do it immediately. I cannot promise to be polite because I'm still working and I still have this naive hope that my best film is ahead of me. There is one thing that puts physics and art together. I think physics, when you take it seriously, it is not an engineering, it's much closer to philosophy. And it deals with mystery, as well as the notion of mystery, of unknown. And I have this very strong feeling that life is a mystery, like matter is a mystery. We know very little. And human life is a mystery, and they try to discover some trace of sense in human life. If I manage to do it, I feel my work is accomplished.
What is there in life to strive for? Does love illuminate life, or does sudden illumination give altogether a different coloring to life, to love, to the very existence?
Illumination is not an autobiographical film, but in a way it is, because it depicts an internal development and illumination that is touching my protagonist. And this is something what I'm striving for all my life long.
Somewhere in the end lies the beginning of the story. Today is the third day here at IFFI. In the hotel lobby, we met Adur Gopalakrishnan. It is always fascinating to listen to a storyteller's voice, how he sees life and its contradictions, and weave a story of universal appeal.
Actually, I had passed out of the Film Institute in 1965, and it took 7 years of struggle to make the film, because in those days it was difficult to convince a producer, even today it is difficult, that you are going to make a film, a reasonably good film, and you have the required knowledge and practical knowledge about making films. So we as a young group of filmmakers, we approached the Film Finance Corporation at that time for a loan. But then the film really had its impact when the national awards came, because all the major awards were won by this film, and that created a lot of interest amongst the people. If the film had failed, it would have been a different story, because people were very quick to write the whole movement's obituary, So that did not happen. That also gave me a lot of courage to do what I really believed in and not to make compromises.
Amorous gaze. This is what I remember when I saw her for the first time. There were stories abound to choose and to narrate. How and why a particular story captures the imagination of a filmmaker? Is it the universality of appeal? Or is it the singularity of human dilemma that provokes an artist's mind to paint and interpret the story on the canvas of his choice? When I knocked on the window of his car, I was both curious and nervous. I was meeting with Gautam Ghosh, a master storyteller who has been on the forefront of Indian new wave cinema.
Basically, human civilization. I've been telling stories, and sometimes the stories were written, sometimes it is an oral tradition, but telling stories is a very, very ancient thing, and I'm sure people will go on telling stories in spite of so many changes in the cyber world.
মানুষের বুকই হচ্ছে আসল জায়গা, যেখানে সোনা দানা মণিমুক্তা আছে। বুক হাতড়ালি পাওয়া যায় মানুষ রত, কিন্তু ঝামেলা হলো মাত্র 2 চাকার উপরে 3 মহলা বাড়ির বোঝা বাওয়া বড় কঠিন।
In cinema, we play with time and space, and we can manipulate time and space. That's a great strength of cinematic idiom. You can tell a story of 1,000 years in 2 hours. You can tell a story of 2 hours in 2 hours. You can tell a story of 5 minutes in 2 hours.
কি করলে নতুন বউ, তুমি বামুনের মেয়ে হয়ে
তুমি ছেড়ে না, আমার সব গেছে চন্ডাল, কোনো চাঁদতে কেউ নেই আমার।
Art is a spiritual quest. Tagore once said, "An artist is a cursed species." What does it mean? Perhaps it hints towards an artist's position in society as a critic, commentator, and oracle. Prometheus stole the fire from heaven, gave it to us, and in punishment remained bound in chain, suffering in gorges. How similar is an artist?
I've been making film for many years and trying to reflect my feelings about my society, about the world at large, but I don't consider all of them have reached to the level of art. For me, cinema is a language. Sometimes it can attain the level of art, because art is not so simple thing.
मारे गए हैं, उस परिवार को सरकार 5,000 रुपया हर्जाना देने जा रही है।
तो हम गांव ही चले जाते हैं, पता नहीं माँ बाबा का क्या हुआ होगा, बहुत चिंता लगा उनके लिए।
नहीं, गांव तो नहीं जाना, मार डालेगा तुमको वो लोग।
an artist's take on another artist. His films on Satyajit Ray and Ustad Bismillah Khan were of particular interest to me.
When I made the film on Ray, that was in 1999, 98-99, Ray was no more. Again, it was a journey through his notebooks. It was reconstructing Ray and his talent and his creativity.
Jean Renoir had come to Calcutta to scout locations and interview actors for a film which he would be making in Bengal. He reacted with gasps of surprise and delight at details which eventually found their way into his film, capturing the Bengal countryside as it had never been captured before. As Renoir told me, you don't have to have too many elements in a film, but whatever you do have must be the right elements.
But my greatest experience, I must tell you, when I made a film with Ustad Bismillah Khan, way back in 1989, and I found a real artist in him. Because there are many artists, but there are very few savant, few, people who can really contemplate, become spiritual while playing music. So that was a great experience, and also I've learned so many things about the humility of an artist. That more you learn, more you become soft, down to earth.
दुनिया कहती हाँ साहब क्या शहनाई बजा रहे, बिस्मिल्लाह खां की शहनाई, बिस्मिल्लाह खां का हाथ, बिस्मिल्लाह खां की फूंक, बिस्मिल्लाह खां की फूंक, बिस्मिल्लाह खां का हाथ, बिस्मिल्लाह खां की शहनाई। बिस्मिल्लाह खां कौन है? वो बिस्मिल्लाह खां कौन है? ये तो उसकी शहनाई, उसकी फूंक, उसका हाथ है। तो जिसने बिस्मिल्लाह खां को बनाया, तारीफ तो उसकी हुई।
I think the greatest virtue that Indian cinema, in my eyes, has achieved, that it is faithful to Indian mentality and Indian tradition and Indian aesthetics.
भारत में प्रेम का, भोग का, श्रृंगार का होता है सम्मान, क्योंकि इसी से है सबका कल्याण। ये वो शक्ति है जो चित्रों में सजती है, गीतों में रचती है, संगीत में बजती है। इसीलिए तो महर्षि वात्सायन अपना अमर ग्रंथ लिख रहे हैं, प्रेम का ग्रंथ, कामसूत्र।
And I think about commercial Bombay films. They are not alien to India. I know they have link to Sanskrit drama and to the vision of the world, which is authentic. Unlike China, for example, where cinema reminds me of the world cinema immediately. Cinema is a young discipline. You celebrate 100 years in India. It is generally 100 and few years universally. So comparing to other disciplines, film is very young and had already very good periods, and probably today it is not the best period in film history. There are some very deep changes occurring and they affect filmmaking, not always in a positive way.
Mayuri was happy that I was climbing the professional ladder so fast. My parents were joyous to see my material gain. I purchased my own house and bought a car. Day in and day out, it was work, work, and work. Life is a journey. I made it a race. And in the process, I lost the moment to reflect, to introspect. When I was a struggler, I used to meet her almost daily. Now even the weekends are assigned to freelance work. I thought money could buy everything, even happiness.
From time to time, questions arise. That's how the theme is developed. You are not giving the final answers. We are asking, we are trying to find out why that question came up. Because of a certain situation in our system, in our lives, in our social milieu. So it is an examination of that happens. We are not, giving the final answers, final solutions. But what is important is for the audience to become aware of things around them, about themselves, about others. That is the most important part. If a film can make the audience aware at a very, very deep level, not at the surface level, then it has done its purpose.
Stories and memories curl and hurl at me. They reconfigure time and space continuum. The life lived and living create endless patterns. I cry and rejoice. After all, these are my own stories.
तुमने जितना मांगा था उतना सोना अपने साथ लाए हो राज सिंह.
My father used to run a video cinema hall in my village. It mainly screened Bollywood blockbusters. In that formative age, these films created the idea of cinema in my mind. It became my secret longing to make films. Childhood experiences shape the identity of a being. Childhood memories secretly go into our personal stories we narrate.
Indian cinema means many cinemas. So because we make films in so many languages. And that's very interesting because India is so diverse. India is not homogeneous. And that is why India is incredible. So is our cinema.
आता हिथून पुढे लक्षात ठेव काय एकदा धडा घेतला ना माणसाने विसरू नये कधी हा असे एकदम फ्री हे राह ना तू
But seriously, I think still we lack content because we have so many fascinating content and filmmakers must cultivate. For instance, you take Iranian cinema per se. Iranian cinema was considered one of the finest filmmaking country now because not only style but the content and also with a great legacy of Persian civilization. So we have the same legacy of ancient Indian civilization and we have our country is so diverse. So I think there is a great potential, but I'm very happy about young filmmakers. They're trying to find out new avenues, new style of filmmaking.
हमको स्पोर्ट में ले लो, सुना हुआ खाने में पाबंदी ना है.
स्पोर्ट्स क्या खेलते हो?
साहब जो खिलाए खेल ले, हम तो भजते ही बहुत तेज है.
ये भजना क्या होता है?
भगते.
अच्छा एक काम करो, ये आइसक्रीम मेजर साहब के यहाँ पहुंचा कर आओ, बिना पिघले. तुम स्पोर्ट्स में.
साहब पता दे दो.
मैं तुम्हें इस तरह खामोश नहीं होने दूंगा.
I still remember a large telerama TV showing Bollywood hits, an audience sitting under Shamiana, sharing the emotional journey of the screen hero. When circumstances forced us to leave our village, we decided to move to Delhi. Here, We were no more than homeless destitutes. Act of living was full of struggle. Idea of life was soothing. When Mayuri came into my life, love spread its wings and dreams soared. 10 long years with her were no less than a dream. I was dreaming about life, love, and cinema. I agree, life is mysterious. The way she made an exit from my life is far more mysterious. At one moment, we were one in embrace. We argued, and the rift became palpable. When our hearts were throbbing against each other, we could feel the differences that had cropped up between us. First time when I was working on a documentary dealing with hope, longing and lamentation of Tibetan in exile, I could sense that one day she would no more be with me. Sometimes, pace of the unfolding events becomes so fast that it becomes inexplicable. In my case, it became mysterious.
We want art to promote beauty, but there is something what goes above beauty, and this is wisdom. And with an age, each of us should gain more wisdom, but wisdom makes creation somehow more difficult, because wisdom is never easy. Wisdom is never one-sided. Wisdom may be passionate, but is always complex. And probably naturally with an age, I've gathered some wisdom that makes my filmmaking more balanced.
Journey is coming to an end. Right now, I am editing this film. Footages of journey back from Goa remind me how cyclical the journey of life is.
New York Herald Tribune.
Je te le rends, il n'y a pas d'horoscope.
Qu'est-ce que c'est l'horoscope?
L'horoscope, c'est l'avenir.
And I remember Michael saying to Patricia in Godard's film Breathless, "It's crazy, but I love you." Patricia asks, "What would you choose? Grief or nothing?" Michael replies, "I would choose nothing. Grief is a compromise. I want all or nothing." I remember one story. A man was returning back home after a long journey. He was tired to death. Yet he was happy. After all, at the end of the journey, he would meet his beloved wife. Finally, he reached his destination. The door was closed. He was standing there, staring and thinking, as if frozen in time and space. So many springs had gone by. So many wintry nights have spread the snowy whiteness. He knocked on the door. No one answered. He knocked on the door and called his beloved's name. A voice from inside answered, "Who is there?" "I, your love. It's me," he answered. You have knocked on the wrong door. You and I both cannot stay together, came the answer. He was crestfallen. He started crying like a baby. He fell to the ground, and while crying, he slept. In the morning, he woke up. There was no hope left now. He knocked on the door for the last time. The same wife asked, "Who is there?" "It's you only, my love," answered he. The door was wide open now. His wife came running, and they became one in embrace. Love is only a singleton being.